So I welcome you all to this second part of our Thursday's lecture. So in the first part, we just discussed how to create an application that can read from our JSON data. You remember that we had that JSON inside data, characters.json, and we were just reading that one. Let me just quickly show you how it was basically running. Where is that right now? It's here. So if you see that we can see the characters, and you remember we have talked about the heroes as well. I'm just repeating that for the quick refresher. Looks like our server is not working. Let me just run that one. So npm run watch. We are just running watch. I've created this script, you remember. Now this definitely should be working. So now this tells us the heroes, and if I go here, it will tell us all the characters that we have. So we've got all the characters over there, right? So now we have to follow this forms example, as I talked about that, and we'll be just looking at this form. So let's follow these steps in the exact sequence that we need. So first of all, sending data from a form to the Express server is not all that complicated. It's really just a few steps. So we'll just try to follow up these steps. Create your form in HTML. So step number one, we want to create a form in HTML. Now you remember that we have talked about that all the HTML pages we are keeping inside this views. So let's create a new file here, and let me call it add character or add char.html, right? So what I want to do over here is that I want to create a form. So now I have just already created an HTML document with this form and everything. I just want to share it over here. And I've taken this from our this week's lecture part. So what I've done is that this form application, like this code, I've just copied and pasted this code and tried to adjust few things inside that. So now you can see that I have got a form. Let me just save this one. And this form has nothing, but if I want to just show it to you, let's add that with our server file. First of all, of course, if you want to show it to our server file, like again, if you want to show it, so app.get, let me just take that from where we are calling a file, this one, and I will be making a route for that particular file. So now that's where is that file? It is inside views, and on what root? For example, if I say that if someone says add character, so what I'll do is that I will just try to for example, I will just try to call that, right? So, or maybe what we can do is that we can say that characters, that is already showing us the characters, right? So let's make it an add, right? So I want to add a path over here. Okay, so what is the file that we want to access over here? Is that add char.html, right? Let's save this. Let's see if that works. Now I have to use oh no, I've used characters/add. Okay, so this is the form that we have. We have got name, username, email, and be it a hero or not. If you remember that we have got that that thing in our data, that we are declaring few of them as heroes, few of them not. Let me just access that as well, and you know that these are all the characters that we have. Okay, sorry, this is 8080. So that is all the characters that we have, and that is all the heroes that we have. So what we are doing here is, just to simplify it, we are just keeping that we are taking the first name, last name, and email, and then we were just email, and then just defining that whether that would be a hero or not, right? So this is a form, and let's see the code of the form for the time being. If I talk add char, so we have a form, And in a form, what I have done is that if you see that I have set up its action to characters/add, and that is what, that is the path that I have added over here, character/add, and I am using the same path over there in my file add chart. So I want to send this data action to add characters/add, and method is equal to post. And one of the very important attribute that you have seen in our notes that they say that you need to add, that ink multi like, let me show you this ink type. So ink type should be set to what? Multi-part form data. You remember that if you want to send the pictures, we need to set that ink type to that. But again, right now, the example that I'm looking here is that I will be using first I'll be sending this data without any picture, and then I'll take that example from our slide that we will be just sending it. So what we want to do, we want to add this character into our characters.json, this file, which already has this char1, char2, and there are four characters in it. So I want this add char to add these files, and for that, what I've done is that I'm defining an action char/add, and this one is. So for that reason, what I've done is that I've just defined a path over here, and this path, what it will do, it will just open and go and open the char.html. Now, very interesting thing, when this data would be posted, if you come here, so we are using the method post. So when this is posted, we need to handle that post method as well. But just keep in mind that you always need to just keep this post method after your get request. So that is one thing that you need to take care of. So what I'll be using is I'll be using the same path as character/add, right? And let's define a callback here. Let's see what we'll do. So what we'll do is that we have got the data. Remember that the same data that we are working on, the characters, and we will use one of the redirect feature. And what we'll do that when user has posted, we'll redirect user to the characters. What does that mean? We want to just redirect them. And before redirecting, in fact, what we can do is that we have to just add character. We'll be using an add character function. That add character function will do what? Will add those characters. And can anyone tell me? Let me just write that here, which is not there, of course. Rec.body. I will be using. Rather, let's talk about that. So for that, again, so to what do we want? We want whenever the user submits this form, for example, from this area, this form data should be going to the page character/add to this location, and at this location we want to add those that data to our add character file. So now for that we need to do something interesting as well over here. Of course, we need to have that function. As you know, we had a function for get all characters, we had a function for get all heroes. In the same way, what we need to do over here is that we need to have a function to handle the data, that the request that is coming from, the posted request. So if I copy this one and I paste it here, what I want to do here, I want to make a function, and what that function will do, let's for example call it add character, right? So I'm just removing everything in between so that we can just start afresh. Right. So I'm making a function that will add a character, and this character data will be coming from the form. That is important, and that is interesting that our data will be coming from the form, right? So let's accept that data here, character data, that has been posted, that is been coming over there. Now we need to just handle few things. Character data dot is hero. So you remember we have talked about that is hero is a feature. If user has checked that, like again in our form, if user has checked that one, so that means we need to check that and we need to work on that, right? So is hero equal to, now what we do, character data dot is hero, check that one. If it is true, I hope you know this ternary operator. So is hero should be equal to true or false according to if we are checking about that data. So if that chart data which has been passed to it, it has is hero true, so it has this one is true, so assign true to the is hero. If it is false, so define like the store false in it, right? So that is something that we are taking care of, the is hero over here. And now another thing that we want to do over here is that to take care of the ID. So what I have defined that ID as, for example, in my characters.json, char ID with small I. So char ID. So char ID equal to what you need to do. You need to do characters data dot length. If you know the characters data length, what you can do is that you can just allocate an automatic ID. I don't want to take that ID from the user. You see, in my form, I'm not taking ID from the user. Of course, I want it to be an auto-generated one. So I'm just taking name and F name and a username or last name or first name, and then I'm taking the email, and then I'm taking is hero. So I am generating that ID by myself, right? And how I'm generating? First of all, calculating the length and then generating that. Now, I hope you remember and you know from your last courses that the character is the main array that we are running right now. Dot push. I hope you know what is that dot push. So character data, that character data we have calculated, just push that data into our array, right? Which array? The characters array. And what is this character array? If you go to the top, we are talking about the top array. So we have just collected this character data. This character data was submitted by the form. We have got it. And after getting that form, we are just saying that just go and push that data, right? And the last thing to just notice is resolve, right? So I forgot something interesting. And what did I forgot? I forgot to add up a promise over here, because what it will resolve once it is not received that. So listen about that. This function also, all the function, if you have seen your assignment as well, they should all return what? They should all will be returning the promises. So if I say new promise function resolve reject, right? And then I will be writing this one, and I need to take all these blah blah into inside that. So I need to work on that everything on inside my promise, because this promise will be just doing it, whether the data has been submitted, whether data has been used or not, or whatever, and then we will be just using that one. So in the end, again, as I said, that I will be needing to resolve this, right? Let's put a semicolon here. Let's put a is that complete line? Yes, it's complete, but looks like, yes, if I can leave out the terminator over here. Okay, so let's save that. I hope I've got everything right, but anyhow, so this is what I have defined a data over here. Now let's come back to our notes and let's talk about what. So creator form. So we were going in the sequence. So create your form. We have just created this form first, and now second step, set the action attribute of the form where URL where you want to form to be submitted. And what we have done, we have submitted, or we have done this one, character/add, right? Method is equal to post, and what else I want? Set the method attribute of form get or post depending on how your server expects the request to come in. Typically, you want to use post. Usually, we use post for posting the data. So choose a correct ink type for the form based on the form's content you'll be sending to the server. So again, ink type should be selected. So if we have sending the pictures, as we have said, we'll have to send this ink type as multi-part form data. But right now, as I said, we are talking about the text, JSON text. So we don't need to set it. So by default, it will work for us. Add some middleware to the Express server that can parse out the contents form in due to the form. Okay, so this is very important. Add some middleware to the Express. Now we need to add some middleware. Now, if you talk about that, we are talking about, for example, that the middleware over here, if you see that the middleware that we use to like upload pictures is basically what? Let me just tell you. Multer, and I will use this example later on. But right now, what I'm doing is that, for example, just to as we are not uploading an image right now, so what I'll do over here is that I will go to my server file, and the 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 middleware that I'm going to use for uploading my data right now is something like, you would have seen that, body parser, right? So we have something called body parser that will handle our post request, and that will provide us the data from our from our form. Okay, so now don't forget to do use app.use body parser dot URL encoded. So you remember URL encoded. This is a statement that you need to add, and I'll show you that where we have just defined this. True. Right. So if you look at your document, you'll find this body parser. Yeah, here. So this is the so as you said, the multi library is only needed when you are dealing with the file uploads and multi-part form data. If you are simply using text form data, you can use body parser library. So we are using this body parser library, and we need to that const body parser require body parser. And again, this is near the top of your code, make a call to app.use to set the middleware to URL encoded to form data normal history. So we are using this normal encoded request. So what we need to do is that install body parser. So let's do that over here. I will just stop my server. And if you look at, it says that npm install body parser. I'm just copying that one over here and just running that body parser. So this body parser will be doing what? Will be handling our, the request of data. When we are posting that data, we want to read that data from the body. So this body parser will be helping us out in all those things. I hope that makes sense to everyone. Right. So now what we want to do is I want to just add this, this one, that app.post I was talking about. I'll be adding that. So post, that is the same address that we know that from where this form is coming from. And then inside that one, like inside the function, what I do is data dot add character. So we have got this function now. And where we will be getting this data from? Request.body, right? And again, that same, then what we do inside then. So we'll define a callback over here. Let's put a here. And here I want to say res.redirect, which I was just doing before defining that. So what I do is I will say that take to the characters back, like so. Right. So what we are doing is that we are saying that whenever this something happens, so let me just run this again, npm run watch, so that our server is running. So what I want to do over here is that I want to just basically, I say that this function will be called if the user posts the data, then this function should be called, and this add characters function should be called on request.body, whatever body data has come from. So it will call this add character inside that, and this add character will do what? It will set up all the data, and it will push that data to the characters, like our main array, that we are handling. Let's go back there and let's try to do that. Okay, so this is our file, and you say, for example, abc xyz abc at abc.com, and let's put it not a hero and submit file. So far so good. So do you see that this first name ABC, last name XYZ, email ABC, everything has been done? Child null. It's not giving the child value. So let's see what has happened with the child value. Let me see that why it's not giving characters. Oh, what I've done is characters data dot length. No, we have to check the length of characters. So the main value that has been added is the characters where we have to make use. So what we'll do here, just check that here. So it won't be character data dot length, because this is the data that is coming from, and now we are talking about the characters dot length. So let's see if it works now. And let me run that form file again. And now I'll just add something, maybe John whatever, John at xyz.com, and John is a hero for us. Okay, so now you see here that now first John, last name Acton, email John at is hero true child. So let's check whether it has been added to heroes or not. Okay, so John has been added to that. So it means that now whatever I want to do, I will be just keep on adding that new records. For example, if I add a new record randomly, I say John Rambo or something, Rambo at john.com, and he's a hero, for example, John Rambo, and anyhow. So now you say that John Rambo has been added to them, right? And if I go to heroes, you'll see that Rambo is being added to that one, right? John Acton, John Rambo, both are coming as heroes over here. And if I go to characters, you'll find all those characters over here. So far, so good. I hope you people are getting that. Now, so that is what we have done, that we have got. But there is something interesting I want you people to note. What is that? If I just stop my server, and now again run that server, you'll see some difference. Let's see, my server is running now. Now let's go here and let's check that. Those two names have disappeared. Can anyone tell me why it is happening? Now let's add maybe one more, and Sylvester ABC at xyz.com, and a hero, of course. Submit file. So you see now it is added with a 5-1, and it's just showing us that way. But anyhow, so why not the previous characters? So please bear in mind that what our program is doing over here is that it's adding to this, pushing to this characters data. But again, that push is not being, one way or other, it has not been saved over here. So it's just adding to that data, but of course not adding permanently to that, just pushing to that and showing it that. So when this session goes out, this data goes out. Now for the permanent storage of this data, you will just need you will need to wait for our databases part, and here we'll talk about that how we can just permanently store something in an array, and that array would be, and of course, and let's see our characters file. So you see that we don't find that value over here. Okay, that should at least come here. This is our characters. It's bringing our character. So it's in essence, it's basically doing what? It's just adding that characters on the fly, and it's showing over there. But yes, what we want is when we want to have a permanent storage, permanent data for that, we need to work on databases for that. Right. So now let's quickly see that example of this image uploading as well. And I'll be just doing what? I will be changing, or maybe let's create another HTML file here, and let's call that file as add data.html. So I'm just now talking about data, which will contain the picture as well. And let's take that again from this one, complete HTML page. So let's copy this one. And I want to have this one. Now this should be saved. Now let's go there and add a path to it. First of all, Control C and Control V. And I want to say, now I will say add data. I'm just defining another path, add data, maybe with a short, or maybe there are too much D's there. Add picture, right? So I'm just defining a path, character / add picture. I want to show that picture as well, right? Now save this one. So we have got this add picture, and this add picture should show which file, that we have add data file, the file that we have created over here, add data, and I wanted to show that one. So let's see if it works. /add pic. Okay, so now we got that same form that they are using on that particular example, this which is used over here, right? So we need to do few more things over here. The first thing, an HTML page form that it can submit to the server. Let's call it register user. They've called it register user. We are calling it add data, whatever. And in views folder, in the following properties. So in the public, we'll have to just create this folder structure as well, because they are just using that public /photos. There will be a folder which is public, and inside that folder there will be a folder called photos. So let's just add that. I'm talking about this week file. So I say public, and inside that public, what I want to do is I want to create another folder, and I'm calling it photos, right? So that's folder over here, and we use register.html, and which we have done, like we are doing it not by register, but what we are doing is that in views we have created add data.html, right? So we are running our own example over here. Okay, so now just do that, and the photos that are uploaded to saved public photos folder. So the photos that we'll be saving will be going to the public photos folder, but for that we need to do something else that I'll tell you. So it says the set the action attribute to the form, action equal to register-user. It's not the case in our case. What we want to do here is we are sending it to character/add pic, right? So let's go to add data.html and add an action. Action is equal to characters/add pic. Oh, it's not the file that where I want to show it. Rather, I want to, this is the file which is showing the data. So the value action URL must go for the example you register user, and what they are doing with the register user. Let me just have a quick look at it. Register user.html. The HTML view with our form client. No, I think I was right. So register -user. So it should the first show that one. And what is their register user doing? App register -user. Anyhow, we'll talk about that register -user they are sending to. So let's do that as well over here, and I will just handle that one. So action is registered, because the file that we are showing is basically that is a different, and here we'll see that register-user. So this is the file that we want to send data to, right? So we'll handle that later on. Register.user. What else we need to do that? So after the method is equal to post, right? And of course, we need to have that multi-part data as well. So let's do that as well. Do everything. Just copy and paste here. So now we have got this our form. Character/register-user. I want to send it to character/register.user, right? Okay, so server set up middleware. So here we need to set up another middleware. So we set up like the body parser over there, but here we need to set up the Multer, right? So we need to install that as well. Let's see if they have given that description. If not, they've not given that. Okay. So first of all, let's go back and first install this Multer. Okay, so let's go back and stop server for the time being. npm install Multer. Let's install Multer and see what we can do with that. So we have installed the Multer, and now what we need to do, if you see here, we need to add this one at the top, right? So that is the same that we are habitual of doing that. We need to add that one as well. So Multer, right? And after that, let's see. the Multer, what we need to do, and we need to add this file as well. So you see, Multer require a few options to be set up and store files with extension. By default, it won't store extensions for security reasons. So it won't store. So what we need to do, rather, we need to add this line of code. Right, so Multer disk storage, and as well as, let's copy the bottom one as well. We need to have these two set up, Multer storage. So this is, again, you can just have a quick look at Multer's working. There is this is a very good article which I found. You can just always go there and you can find add Multer. You are adding the Multer, single file, double file. You can, I will just paste that link in our somewhere in our as a comment. I will just paste that here. So I've just pasted that over here, right? So you can always just go through over that. Anyhow, so what I was saying, that we need to copy all this. So let's copy this one. I'm just copying that one all and run it over, like add it over here. Let's add it over here. So what effectively does, it tells, okay, just hold on. It tells what Multer, like we are used to. This is this storage public / photos. We have got this folder. So destination is this folder, and then we are just calling this one. That we write the file name as the current date down to the milliseconds. In a large web service, this would possibly cause a problem. If two people upload an image at the exact same time, a better way would be use a GUI. This is simple project. So again, we are just using a simple date now. We are just calculating the date now when user has submitted that one. And const upload is equal to Multer. We need to just set that up. Right. The one thing which is remaining, of course, I didn't tell you, or I was telling that we need to just add that static route as well. Why? Because this static route will enable us to have that like public folder access. You remember in the last lectures we have talked about that if you want to add that, you need to require that as well, right? We need rather than using it here, you can use it anywhere. I can use it somewhere here, whatever. I don't think it won't make any difference. I don't know. Let's check it. Okay. So what we have done, that we have just added that static, because now we want to have that. Now we need to just define the route for that. And you see, we have we defined that route for characters at pick. We have already defined that, which they are defining over here. If you see this one to show the file. But now what I want is this post, because this post is important. Why? Because I want what action I want to have on my data when this post is done. So now let's come back here and paste that one, app.post, register user. And I'm not using register user. If you remember, I'm using characters / register user. You remember? Where is that? I have mentioned that in my this file, right? Character / register - user, right? So I'm talking about character / register - user. That's why I've just mentioned this over here, register user, right? Just change that one. Rest everything should be fine. Yes. So it will just send this registered, or I'll say registered, whatever, right? So let's see if we have got a few of the things, or how many things we have done. Okay, so let's see here. We were talking about the 5 steps. So we have choose correcting type. We have just corrected in type. Add some middleware to that. So we have added this middleware, and we have added this Multer for us, because we need to parse the contents, and add some to Express server that can parse out contents of the form in the body of the request object, so you can get access to data. Request object in access request.body. So request.body, we have talked about that rec.parser. We can work on that. Create a route in Express to receive post data. So we have created that route. Respond back to the client status as submission is that. So we can do that as well, because they are doing this thing over here. So they say that if you want to do something, you can just you can just work on that. Modify the register route handler code now like this. So again, register user handler, I can change the code completely to like this, right? So it will just, so again, to get this rec.body and everything, we have already set up that particular the route, everything that we have already set it up, right? So let's see if everything is set up. Let's see if it works. So where we have to go? First of all, let's check app.get. App.characters.addPic, where I've got add data.html, and then from add.data, if I just post that data, it should go to that which is I'm just considering, and then I'll have to just check register.html and things like that. Let's try to run that. Okay, so this is addPic file which we have. Okay, so server is not running, of course. I just stopped that. npm run watch. Right, so now my server is running. Let's see addPic. So it's here. So for example, I say Alan, John, ABC, whatever, password ABCDEF, and photo ID. So I need to select a picture. Let's see if I can find a picture somewhere. I must have some pictures on desktop, definitely, because I just usually keep some of the files. Graphic novels connection. Hopefully that's a good picture. Submit file. Okay. So there is something wrong. It's going through the get method. Okay. It's you see it's making it a part of our URL, which I don't want it to do. Oh, add data has not been saved. Add data is saved. So we have a method post and everything. So add data was not saved, right? Let's do that now. Now again, let me just go back and start afresh. John, ABC, and XYZ. Hello, and choose a file. Let me select that file again on desktop. Where is that picture gone? Oh, graphic novels collection. Hopefully, as I said, this. Oh, that's cool. It works. So, register user is coming, and this register user is showing the form data was name John, username was AB, email was this one, your file data. So again, what we have done in that file here, if you see in this file, what we have done is that, we just modified our register user. So we collected the form data request.body, we collect the form file request.file, right? So we have just collected both of these things. And so data received by your submission was received JSON.stringify. So we are stringifying the form data and we are stringifying the form file and showing both of them. Now this file will be doing what? This will be giving me all the related, all the relation of related, all these things related to this one, this picture. So what is that? Your file was field name, photo, original name, graphic novels collection dot, encoding 7-bit, etc., public photos. It's showing the path of that. And now interesting one, the most interesting part of this is that if you say that this picture is being uploaded over here, right? Now let's run that form once more and try to add another picture and see what happens. For example, if I go over there and I add it up and I say, okay, Christina, ABC, oh, at abc.com, password hello, and photo ID. Let's talk about a picture of Christina, and let's see if I can find another file. That was a good one. Anyhow, this is an untitled. Interesting. Let's see what it comes up with. Oh, it's my data that I made as a picture of. It's my server data. Anyhow, so this is the picture that is coming. This is a JPG over here. And now it says that your submission was received. Your form data was name Christina, username abc.html, etc., password is hello. Everything is nice and clean. And then it says your field name, photo, original name, untitled.png, etc. So it's just showing that information to us. And if you go here, you find that you will find that these two pictures are there, which have been uploaded by this server. Right. So if you need any more explanation of that, of course, as I said, that you can just go through all these things, that it needs to have these two setups before Multer can be used. So Multer asks for the storage. Multer does disk storage, and you need to tell that where you want your files to get stored. And then again, there's a callback function with it, and this callback function is doing what? It's being called by using a null and date.now, the current date, path.extension name, file.original name, the original name, and it will be just accepting that one. And of course, it will be uploading that. So you can just have a good look at it. And please have a look at it. I have just we have just practically used both of them. So I have here defined two types of things. If you remember that we have also worked with the body parser and worked with our files, and here we have just done both of the things. So now we have got a very good running file, and that is first of all characters. So it is showing me all characters. If I go and I check that heroes, I want to have some hero. Okay, it was not heroes. Heroes is just to start. So if I do that heroes, and I can check that it is just bringing up the heroes. And if I do add only, so we have got no, we had something else. What was that route about? Characters slash add. Am I using the wrong thing? Yes, without characters. So yes, so characters slash add, and if you just do that, you will see that, for example, if you want to just place anything, you can just add, and you can just call it a hero or not, and then you see that that record is added. That is also done. And then we have got, I think, character slash add pic, which is the form that we are using for picture. Now add that one and this one, and then again select a photo, and let's select a previous photo that we have already used before and try to go with it, graphical novels connection, and then submit that. Now we get that data. Not only we get that data over here, rather we can get this data over here. The picture is also uploaded over here with some name, and all the information related to picture is coming into that. Right. So I hope that makes sense to everyone. And this was the second part of it, and I'm expecting all of you to have a look at it, because this will give you a very good sense of your assignment as well. Assignment 2, if you have talked about that, if you have started working on it. If not, you should start working on right now, because this will help you a lot. And these concepts that we have discussed in these two videos, they will be very helpful for all of you. So thank you very much. Have a good day.